I've been renting my whole adult life, and at the moment it's about 26% of our income goes on rent.
Oh, should we try and find some more purple unicorn parts?
Rosie Wallace and her family live in Melbourne's eastern suburbs. She's been a tenant for 15 years and can't see that changing anytime soon.
Yeah, I think the median house price in Metro Melbourne being over $1 million, it's quite scary, and it does make it feel really out of reach.
Millions of renters like Rosie are coming under increasing financial pressure. Rents are skyrocketing, going up almost 10% nationally over 12 months, and low vacancy rates mean there's often little choice.
We're not seeing wages increase, we're not seeing income support increase, and we are seeing the market increase exponentially.
You can already use your super to purchase an investment property, but not your own home.
Housing was a significant issue during the federal election campaign, but many of the promises focused on home buyers.
I think renters have been ignored, have not been spoken to or about, except sort of as a commodity for property owners.
Renters have really been the forgotten people when it comes to this election campaign from the major parties. We haven't really seen big policies from either side to tackle what is a big issue for 1/3 of Australians.
You're going to need a face wash out.
Housing policy was at the forefront of Rosie's mind when she voted for Labor in the seat of Deakin and the Greens in the Senate.
I certainly hope to see the Greens and the Independents put more pressure on Labor on housing affordability.
I don't even know where to start. This is so incredible. And just sort of having a direct intervention now, dealing with it early so that it doesn't...
Stephen Bates is one of 3 new Greens MPs to win seats off the major parties in Brisbane. The 29-year-old credits campaigning on rental affordability as a key reason he's going to Canberra.
Over 50% of the electorate of Brisbane rents, so it's important to have that representation reflected in Parliament. So me being a renter and my entire immediate circle of friends are renters as well.
I'm a volunteer for the ranking campaign for Queensland.
The Greens took an ambitious and expensive housing policy to the election to build 1 million affordable homes over 20 years, costing almost $23 billion over a decade. 750,000 homes would be for public and community housing, and 125,000 would be rental properties.
So what that would do is cap rents at 25% of your income, or the market average, sort of whichever was lower basically, so that you could put that floor in the market and give people access to housing.
Obviously the scheme is very expensive, and committing to that scale of intervention, it is a big change in the market.
Economist Brendan Coates believes there is merit in the Greens' proposal, although he stresses more work is needed to make sure the numbers stack up. But he argues increasing Commonwealth rent assistance is a greater priority than building so many homes.
A better way beyond, say, building the first 100 or 200,000 social housing dwellings would probably be to increase rent assistance instead, because that would provide an immediate benefit, to the more than 1 million low-income renters.
Sean Ratcliffe is a data scientist for polling company YouGov. He says the high proportion of renters hurt the coalition in heartland electorates such as Higgins in Victoria.
One of the reasons why the Labor Party was able to win that off the Liberal Party was because there's a large number of renters in the western part of the seat.
YouGov polling data collected during the election campaign shows young renters strongly backed Labor and the Greens over the coalition, and older renters under the age of 65 and renters on high incomes also avoided the coalition.
And this is particularly the case with younger voters, so the problem for the coalition is the share of these younger voters that rent or don't own their own home is going up every election.
We know Australians need real solutions on affordable housing. Our Housing Australia Future Fund will do just that.
The Albanese government has promised to build 30,000 social and affordable homes over 5 years. Labor will also establish a council to try and increase supply and affordability.
I'd like to see much more from a Labor government in terms of social housing.
Public housing expanded and improved, and we need the federal government to fund that in an exponential way. The commitment made by the federal government, we need 5 times the amount in Victoria alone to meet the current waiting list. We need to see urgent action to regulate the rental market.
There is an agenda that would materially make a difference, and that would be for the federal government to look at paying the states to boost the supply of housing by fixing planning rules that make it hard to build homes, where people want to live in our major cities.
All right, 1, 2, 1.
As more Australians become long-term renters, Rosie hopes political parties do more to address the stark reality of being locked out of home ownership.
And I'd like them to be making policy that considers the many, many people who have rented their whole lives, may rent their whole lives.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.